Yes, my people, welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. Hey, if you're new to the channel, just so you know, this channel is dedicated to the study of sales, leadership, psychology, communication, and business. Listen, every lesson I make is built from first principles because understanding why something works will always outperform memorizing what to say. Today we're talking about something I see everywhere in sales, okay? Salespeople have become too soft, and I'm not talking about kindness, being empathy. You should have empathy. You should care about people. You should be professional. I'm talking about psychological softness. Avoiding tension, avoiding rejection, avoiding difficult questions, accepting vague answers, being afraid to challenge someone, right? Dude, can't have that in sales. You're too weak. You're too soft, right? Being afraid to ask for the business. Letting 3 bad calls destroy the next 3 hours. Like, we can't do stuff like that. The market doesn't reward comfort. Okay, it rewards skill, discipline, emotional control, and the ability to perform under pressure. So today I'm going to show you 5 areas where salespeople have gotten soft, right? And exactly how to fix those. So let's start with Module 1. Okay, write this down. Module 1. As always, we're going to move fast. We're going to move with intent and purpose. If you need to, whatever you call it, rewind and pause the video, go ahead and do that. So with Module 1, title it Build Tension Tolerance. Okay, build tension tolerance. Look, the salesperson who can tolerate more productive tension usually controls the conversation. Most mediocre salespeople have a very low threshold for discomfort. The prospect hesitates, they retreat. The prospect becomes quiet, you start talking. You guys know who you are, I'm talking to you. The prospect's going to disagree for you, for example. And what you do is you immediately soften your position. Prospect says, I need to think about it. You respond, absolutely, I'll send you some more information. Why? Because you're soft, man. You haven't had enough wins off the phone to give you confidence on the phone to have audacity. So, like I always say, who you are off the phone translates to who you are on the phone. Listen, the salesperson wanted relief from the tension. That's why they sent the information. That's why they didn't advance the sale. That's the first principle. Human beings naturally move away from psychological tension. Your prospect does it, okay? Your prospect does it. They're going to do it every time. You do it too. That's the problem. The difference is that the professional has trained themselves to stay there, learn to recognize escape behavior. Instead of wanting to get out, when you feel yourself wanting to change the subject, start pitching, you feel the silence, you lower the price, you offer a discount, or you end the call, you say no worries, you send the information, all the things that make a terrible salesperson. Tell the prospect you'll follow up. Like, I want you to ask yourself, am I strategically moving the conversation forward or am I escaping the discomfort? And that's a massive distinction. Use calibrated tension, baby. You're not trying to make people uncomfortable for the sake of making them uncomfortable. You're creating enough tension for the prospect to actually examine their situation. Okay? Ask, how long have you known this needed to change? Then shut up, right? What has waiting already cost you? Then shut up again. If nothing changes over the next 12 months, where does this leave you? Then shut up again. Stop rescuing people from questions they need to answer. Silence is not a conversational emergency. Train yourself to sit inside of it. 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 7 seconds. Let them think. Let them answer. Hold yourself. Like, hold your mouth shut. Oh boy, I'm getting ready to answer. I'm getting ready to go. Boom, stop. Let them talk. Let them answer. Let them sell themselves. Okay? Your composure communicates certainty, right? Let's go to Module 2. Hey, title it Stop Acting. Stop Acting. Okay? Stop acting and stop accepting weak answers. Write that down. Look, one of the biggest differences between average discovery and advanced discovery is answer quality. Okay? You know, most salespeople ask questions. Top performers interrogate the meaning behind the answer, not aggressively, but precisely. Prospect, I want to make more money. Most salespeople would say, well, our program can help with that, or our services can help with that. You learned almost nothing there. Instead, well, how much more? They say maybe another 50 grand. Now, we've got an answer. Well, why 50 grand? They answered. Then, what could that change for you? Then, why hasn't that happened already? Then, what have you tried? Then, why didn't that work? Then, how long have you been trying to solve this? Now you're discovering casually. Okay, so think in layers. Okay, layer 1, situation, what's happening. Layer 2, problem, what's wrong with the situation. Layer 3, the cause, why does the problem exist. Layer 4, the consequence, what is the problem costing them. Layer 5, emotional significance, why does that consequence matter personally. Layer 6 is the desired outcome, what specifically needs to change. Okay, then we have layer 7, the decision criteria. What would they need to see or believe to move forward? That's the real discovery. You should be able to explain the prospect's problem better than they can. Okay? And here's another advanced skill. Listen for vague language. Look, when someone says maybe, probably, better, more, expensive, eventually, successful, not sure, your brain should immediately think undefined variable. Clarify it. Hey, what does better mean specifically? When you say expensive, like compared to what, Janet? Hey, what does eventually mean? Hey, I noticed you said eventually. I wanted to circle back to that. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by eventually? What are we talking about there? Talk to me about that. All right. What would successfully actually look like? So stop selling against assumptions. Realize that precision close deals. All right, let's go down to module 3 here. Hey, and you need to be writing these down. You need to act like a darn champion. I like winners. I don't like teaching losers. I like teaching winners. If I ever feel like you're not totally absorbing all this, I'm just going to cut it. All right, you can go back in on the phone and start doing that kind of stuff. All right. So module 3, write this down. Learn to challenge without creating resistance. Okay? And this is where a lot of salespeople fail. You're either too passive or too aggressive. And neither is skilled. The advanced salesperson understands controlled confrontation. You aren't confronting the person, you're confronting the inconsistency. And there's a massive difference. Okay? The prospect says, I'm going to wait 6 months. Don't say, well, that's a mistake. Now they have to defend themselves. So instead say, hey, respectfully, can I challenge that for a second? Or, hey, without rubbing you the wrong way, is that all right if I challenge that for a second? Just get permission. Then isolate the contradiction. Hey, earlier you told me you've been wanting to make this change for almost 3 years. What's going to be different during the next 6 months that wasn't different during the previous 3 years? Then stop talking. That's powerful because you're not arguing. You're forcing them to evaluate their own reasoning. So use the contradiction framework, right? Step 1 is acknowledge, I understand. Step 2, reference their previous statement. Earlier you had mentioned. Step 3 is identify the inconsistency. Hey, help me understand how that fits with boom, right? Step 4, ask, don't accuse. What do you think changes if you wait, Janet? And this allows you to challenge people without triggering unnecessary defensiveness. Let me give you another example. A prospect says, hey, Nate, I don't have enough money. Well, earlier they told you they're losing $3,000 a month because of the problem. So you might say, well, that's exactly why I want to understand this correctly. You're telling me the financial situation is preventing you from fixing the problem, but the problem itself is contributing to the financial situation. How do you see yourself breaking that cycle, Janet? Boom. That's a high-level sales conversation right there. You're not fighting objections. You're exposing faulty decision structures, right? So let's go down to Module 4. Hey, and look, in Module 4, you need to title it Develop Emotional Invincibility. That's right. You need to have emotional invincibility. And you need to study philosophy and stoicism and all of that stuff to really help you get better emotional intelligence, especially in sales. I think the Daily Stoic is a good channel for you to follow, really to help you with emotional regulation. But you need to develop emotional invincibility. So write that down. And your prospect should never have to manage your emotions. All right? A lot of you got really bad attitude problems. You got personality problems. I'll call them personality problems. They are personality problems. You're arrogant. You have anxiety. You got a big ego. You're rude. Right? You're not loving. You're not caring. You're not compassionate. You don't truly want to help people. You're in it for the money. And I think you can be ticked off on a sales call, and that shows, right? So let me say it one more time. Your prospect should never have to manage your emotions. Your emotional state is your responsibility. The prospect says no, who cares? People tell me no all the time. I don't think I have ever cared once. Maybe early on, definitely, right? But even if I get hung up on, I literally don't care. I can't express that enough. If you get ghosted, who literally cares? If the deal falls apart, who literally cares? Just take the 15 to 20 minutes that most salespeople never would in their career ever, right? And just study the deal, correct it, and move on to the next call. Too many salespeople carry emotional residue from one conversation to another. I hear it all the time. I see it every day. Call 1 goes badly. They bring frustration into call 2. Call 2 rejects them. Now they're hesitant on call 3. By call 10, their voice is flat, their questions are weak, their conviction is gone. Then they say the lead sucked today. Well, maybe you sucked today. Maybe your nervous system got punched 3 times in the throat and you never recovered, right? So just build a reset mechanism. After a difficult call, identify what happened. Separate what part was controllable, extract what can I learn, and then correct it. What will I do differently? Reset. Next call starts at 0, not -5, dummy. Like, get your head in the game and do things with common sense. One call does not dictate the other. Okay? Stop attaching your identity to outcomes. I want to cover that too. Like, I have one salesperson, not at our company that I work, but he's a good friend of mine actually. Don't work with him at all. We just talk. And it's funny, anytime he has a bad slew of months, all of a sudden he's a bad guy. And I'm like, dude, that's such a, or he sucks at sales or something. It's such a crazy mindset. Like, if you're not great because someone bought, right? You aren't terrible because somebody didn't. Your job really is just to control the process. Hey, and look, you're winning if you did all these things. Like, did I ask the right questions? Did I listen? Did I identify the problem? Did I quantify it? Did I understand their desired outcome? Did I connect the solution correctly? Did I ask for their business? Did I professionally work through resistance, right? That's the scoreboard you control. Like, you guys are so worried about revenue. I'm worried about running the play, and did my people block for me? Was everyone hands in the right spot? All of that stuff. So were my feet positioned right? Okay, did I drop back 1-2 step? Did I release at the right point? Did I throw it to where he was going to be, not at him? Did I throw it to where only he can get it? You know, those kinds of things. And this is what allows top performers to produce consistently. It's like your confidence isn't entirely dependent on yesterday's results. It's built on preparation and competence. So you just got to run the play and control the controllables. Again, it goes back to stoicism and emotional regulation, right? So don't attach your results to your identity. I would never have a bad week and think I'm not the best salesman in the world. That would never happen. Every time I would get on the call, I would think I'm the best salesman in the world, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to help this person, right? And that's just is what it is. It's identity. You'll act to the level of your identity. Your body will rise to the level of standards that it thinks by the perception of itself. So it's really that simple. Let's go to Module 5. Hey, become relentless about the process. Write that down. Become relentless about the process. Okay, this is where everything comes together. You know, softness ultimately shows up in standards. People say they want extraordinary results while operating with ordinary standards. They want more money, but they don't want to make more calls. They want more closes, but they don't want to review recordings. They want more confidence, but they don't practice. They want more conversations, better ones. They don't study communication. They don't get off work and listen for an hour a day to people to help them with their communication skills. They don't do those kinds of things. But yet you want more money. Okay, you want better objection handling, but never do drill objections. Never call me, tell me to do the drill objections. Whose fault is that? So it's not a sales problem, it's a standards problem. And you should do this with your sales managers. You're the ones watching the video. You should do this with your sales manager. It's ridiculous. Why do you think they make the big bucks? Call them, make them, work them, baby. I would. I know I did. And before I was in the spot I was in, where I was doing the coaching, boy, my boss's phone rang every day. And I asked him for help. I asked him what he's seen in his career, deals. I'm reading this book, man. You got any recommendations after? Have you read this? What'd you hear? What'd you think about it? What would you have said here? So it's all about just being ruthless and relentless. But that's what it comes down to. Are you guys getting better? You just really have to build your own personal operating system too. Every day you should know, how many calls am I making? How many quality conversations am I generating? How many presentations? How many follow-ups? How many asks for the business? Where are deals dying? What's my conversion rate between each stage? What skill am I currently developing right now? What call am I reviewing? What objection am I drilling into my head right now? You should know where your sales process leaks, where it sucks, where it's good, where it's not, where you got to improve, where you got to fine-tune. Because revenue is a lagging indicator. Skill and activity are leading indicators, right? And follow up like a professional. Stop making unanswered calls. Just these unanswered calls. What do I mean by that? Going into your follow-up without intent. It's just crazy. Okay, you called. They didn't. All right? They didn't answer. Right? That's all data. Put it in your notes. Put it in your system in. They didn't reject your bloodline. They just didn't answer your call. Like, make the next call, put it in, follow up, go to the next one, switch channels, follow up again when appropriate, change the channels, email, text, voicemail, like whatever it is, add value to the voicemail, reference the previous conversation, have a reason for contacting them. Like, John, we spoke Tuesday. You mentioned you wanted to solve before the end of the quarter. I wanted to reconnect because we're getting closer to that timeline. Has anything changed on your end? That's follow-up, not just checking in. Stop just checking in, damn it. Who cares? Advance the conversation. Your final standard, okay? Look, be hard to discourage, hard to distract, hard to offend, hard to outwork, hard to emotionally knock off course. And when you're speaking with a prospect, be patient, be curious, be empathetic, be precise, be completely present. That's the combination. Hey, tough on yourself, skilled with people. So I hope this video was helpful. One of my sales guys are calling me. I got to hop out of here and give them a holler and help them out. Help them take revenue to the next level. Dominate at the highest level. Winning standards only. So I'll see you in the next one. Hope this was helpful. Make sure you like and subscribe.